You started this business when? Genius.
Genius, I started in 2015, late 2014, early 2015.
And so what did that business look like when you first started? Because I think a lot of people, they look at, especially the last couple of years, they'll look at being like an entrepreneur and starting a business as, oh, it's easy. You just start a business and you start printing money. Everyone's making 10, 20, 30K a month. What was it actually like starting that Amazon business?
Yeah, so at the time, I was just this kid with an idea. And I think the hardest part for so many people to get off the ground and actually do it is like the actually starting.
Yeah.
And having a means of scale and kind of figuring all that out. So I was kind of poking around Amazon at the time. I got into like consulting and realized that this platform is a tremendous engine to move volume. I was obsessed with supplements, so I would call up different supplement brands that weren't on Amazon and be like, hey, I can get you listed on Amazon. Just pay me commission. I'll get you up there. I'm an expert at this. And, long story short, I did start to become the expert. You'd get brands listed, they'd start making sales, I'd get my commission. That's when I realized like, oh, there's something much bigger here. And the brands wouldn't follow like my playbooks exactly. They had other stuff going. They're like doing all this retail. They got these big sales teams. I'm like, guys, I think this opportunity is way bigger. So for me, I just saw that space. And when they weren't like, listening to me, I was like, I could do this better myself. And so I had a couple grand saved at the time. Worked out a deal with a contract manufacturer, paid them a deposit. They made my first 2 products, and we just launched and attacked that thing.
So what was that process like from that first product?
Yeah. So basically,
and how did that product actually, like, what is the actual process like to, let's say you have a product, you have an idea, to actually getting that idea manufactured, that supplement manufactured, and then producing it? Yeah,
absolutely. And we can speak broadly. Like, it doesn't have to be supplements, specifically, because you can sell anything on Amazon, right? But it starts with finding a contract manufacturer. You need the idea. You need some framework around that idea. People ask me this all the time, like, how do you find how do you get the product made? How do you find the right contract manufacturer? And this sounds like a really stupid answer, but Google is your friend. Yeah. There are people out there that do this for a living, that have huge facilities that to keep the lights on, they need to produce product, right?
Yeah.
And so everyone uses the internet nowadays. So you get on there and contract manufacturing for supplements, contract manufacturing for boxing gloves, contract manufacturing for, pet leashes. And they're there. They're advertising, there's pages of them. And your job is to start working the phones, email, learn how to send a professional email, reach out to each and every one of them, and start the process. Most of these places have like some level of R&D capabilities. So if you have the idea and you bring it to them, then they can get the rest done. A good example of this is, Dude Wipes. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
that
of course, yeah.
Like that's a fantastic example. They had
incredible branding.
Incredible branding. And all they had to do was find wet wipe manufacturers.
Yep.
It wasn't like specifically for that area yet. Yeah. That was their branding and marketing. But there's hundreds of those. They found one, put their label on it, and bam, 9 figures in enterprise value later, you have a brand.
Yeah. One thing that I think everyone understands right now, last couple of years, people went to school for 5 years, 8 years, got this degree, and that degree is worth less and less and less every single year. And people are looking for ways in which they can, make more money from home. What do you think would be a good area for someone to kind of segue in with limited kind of downside risk to people that don't have experience in Amazon? Where's a good place to start?
And first off, I think those degrees are worth negative at this point. I think we've reached the diminishing return, and now if you factor in debt, your degree is literally worth negative. If you have very little experience or don't have capital started, there's one skill to learn. One, brand building is a game of traffic, conversion, and story. Traffic, conversion, and story. When I started on Amazon, you could get a lot of traffic for next to nothing. Like, no one knew about it yet, right? So you could rank at the top of these searches. It's not costing you anything. So even if your conversion is low, you're profitable. Today's world, that's not necessarily the case. So where do you get a bunch of traffic? Short form fucking content.
Yep.
Short form content. And you can do that with your phone. Some of my best plays right now are fucking 16-year-old kids who are sitting there using CapCut, figuring out the TikTok algorithm, figuring out like, hey, sunglasses get you more views, right? And it's free traffic. So if you have nothing, I know creators that are making, I hate saying $10,000 a month, but I know 17, 18-year-old kids, like one's living in Bali who works for me. He's clearing 10 G's a month. He was making literally nothing last year, making short form content. And he's making me money because he's generating a shit ton of traffic. So practically speaking, that's a skill that no one's talking about. And it's definitely the place to start.
Yeah, 100%.